Welcome back to the channel, guys. Real quick, let's talk. I just did a hashtag short video on real quick on what I'm about to discuss. Buddy of mine need a minivan for work. He don't want to get a minivan with a 3.6 Pentastar engine. Now, like I said earlier in that short video, I pretty much have a pretty good idea why he don't want a van with a 3.6 Pentastar. Okay, there are known issues with that van or with that engine, okay, or with that motor, which is what they would say in the YouTube community. Okay, ticking. He's afraid of the tick. He's read all the horror stories. He's Googled a lot of complaints, and everybody's complaining about ticking. However, I'm here to tell you, my buddy, okay, have no fear. All right, now I've said this all along. I keep saying this, guys. Just because you have a van with a 3.6 Pentastar don't mean you're going to automatically get the tick. Now, it's kind of hard to, a lot of people ask me, well, how do I avoid my engine ticking? It has never ticked. What do I do to avoid from it ticking? You can't, I mean, you can do everything just right and still end up with a tick, is my point. It's not, yes, before I say this, the lubrication system is important, guys. The correct weight of oil and the kind of oil you use is very important. However, that is not the only reason why your engine will result in ticking. Okay, there are some known low quality parts that was installed on the early edition 3.6 Pentastar engine. All right, so I need y'all to be aware of that, because you people are basically afraid for no reason, guys. Now, what I'm gonna do when I get back, I'm gonna take a break real quick. When I come back, we're gonna talk about his options, because he's persistent. I don't want it. I don't care. If it's got a Pentastar in it, I don't want it. My dude, my friend, it's okay. It's okay, man. It's okay. You're not gonna automatically get the tick. All right, stay tuned. When I get back, we're gonna talk about his options. All right, stay tuned. All right, guys. Now this is the body style van he's chasing. Okay, yes, but the only problem is, and it's not really a problem. This is the older model, guys. This is a 3.8 V6. All right, remember what I said earlier? That van showed up in 2008. This body style, I want to say 2008, and lasted all the way up to 2020. All right, so between 08 and 2010, this is likely the engine you will have. A V6. Now, the Pentastar is a V6, all right, but this is a 3.8 V6. And there's no history of valve train ticking on this engine. Now, I'm thinking that is one of the reasons he is pursuing a van with this engine in it. But guys, let me say this again. That's a mistake, guys. The 3.6 engine showed up in the 2011. All right, that's right, 2011, and it lasted all the way to 2020. All right, now, true, the earlier built 3.6 Pentastar engine, there was some problems. Cylinder head problems, valve train ticking problems, okay? And the list goes on and on. But guys, that's not a reason to, you're essentially going backwards. If you get a van with this, now, I know a lot of guys that own vehicles with this engine will brag on this engine, and rightfully so. This engine, this is a cam and block design engine, guys. Let's talk about the difference. First of all, timing chain driven cam in block design engine. The 3.6 Pentastar is a dual overhead cam engine. All right, that makes for better drivability, lower emissions, which was the #1 reason for redesigning the V6 in the first place. The 3.6 Pentastar happens to be FCA flagship V6 engine lineup. Okay, so this engine could not stand the test of time as it relates to emissions. So they had to do something. They came up with the 3.6 Pentastar. Like I said earlier, in my opinion, the vendors that they use to supply the valve train parts dropped the ball, which in essence hurt the brand and the image of that engine and that vehicle per se. Remember, guys, that engine showed up in a lot of makes and model from a Chrysler standpoint. Okay, even the Jeep that showed up in the Cherokee, also in the 3.2 range. Okay, but the numbers are impressive, guys. From the V6 3.6 Pentastar, a whole lot impressive than this. You are going backwards. Okay, try not to let that bother you as far as, will it tick? I don't want a 3.6 because I think it's gonna start ticking. Guys, I don't know how I don't know how to say it, but trust me on this. If you had a choice in vehicles, you don't going backwards. Okay, let me say it like this. All right, if you, I don't even know how to word this. I wouldn't do it, but if you're gonna do it, go for it. Even have that looked over. Now, I've been around FCA for the longest, guys, and yes, we did not have a whole lot of issues with this engine. In fact, I think I only did like 1, 2, 3 timing chains on it. I had the head off for some minor things, blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that. But as far as the body is going to be the same, okay, the same block style. Remember, guys, what I say, 2008 all the way up to 2020, there's going to be some difference in the body, okay? But my buddy is mainly concerned with the engine. Now, also keep in mind the transmission. Transmission in this body style, you had the options, okay, as far as the early built Caravan. You had the option between the 41 TE and the 62 TE. Now, this is a 2009 model. This is my van. I'm using this as an example. It is equipped with the 62 TE transmission, which is equipped with all the Caravans from 2011 and up. From 2011 through 2020, all the Caravans had the 3.6 and the 62 TE transmission. That combination alone created some impressive numbers as it relates to torque, horsepower, things like that, emissions. But that's the least of the public's concern. The public's concern is, will it start ticking? Will it eventually start ticking? And that's a brand and image thing FCA gonna have to work on, guys. Okay, so I just want to leave that with you. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, guys, but yes, workhorse vans, been around for a while. They're done, okay? 2020 was the last year model, and that was extended simply because soccer moms wasn't ready for the Pacifica. The Pacifica showed up in 2017, but the soccer moms wasn't having it, okay? They still wanted this block style van, so they pressured FCA to keep building it. 2018 rolled around. There were still complaints, okay? That van stayed into production another year. 2019 rolled around. That van still in production. 2020 rolled around. The van was still in production, but FCA had enough. Chrysler had enough. Okay, that's it. That's it. How are we going to get this Pacifica off the ground and running if we still building this? All right, so they cut it off at 2020. Now you have the Chrysler Pacifica from a minivan standpoint, all right? So they're done with this block style minivan. All right. I don't know how else to convince you to get a van equipped with the 3.6 Pentastar, but to each his own. Everybody have their reasoning. I just wanted to talk about it and explain or give you my take on it. Okay. My buddy's going to get what he's going to get. All right. I'm going to work on whatever the problems he had with it. Don't matter if this or the 3.6. All right. I know everything about FCA product. Okay. So yes, I will be there for him from that standpoint. All right, guys, that's all I have. I don't want this video to be long. Just want to chop that up with you guys, and that's all I have.